Welcome back to the pole position. If you like what you see, then don't forget to like and subscribe for more election news. The Irish general election is over and done with some very interesting results. Sinn Féin failed to make significant gains, and even slumped in first preference votes by 5.5 points. But what does this actually mean?
To understand the election, we must first look at the Irish voting system. Ireland is one of only a few countries around the world to use a proportional single transferable method for electing national politicians. This means that voters do not cast a ballot for an individual party or candidate. Instead, they rank the candidates by preference, with a number. They can rank as few or as many candidates as they like, and are voting to elect representatives to multi-member districts rather than just single-member districts like in the UK. The first preference votes are counted at the start, with additional rounds for the other preferences. To win a seat, a candidate must reach a certain number of preferences that is calculated by taking the number of votes cast in the district and dividing it by the number of available seats, plus 1, and then adding 1 to the total. Say 40,000 votes are cast in a district with 4 seats. 40,000 divided by 4 plus 1 would mean the quota of preferences is 8,001 votes. If there are still candidates who do not meet the quota, then the bottom candidate is eliminated, with each new count until a winner emerges. If a candidate exceeds the quota, it creates what are called surplus votes, which are distributed to the other candidates but only under certain circumstances. It is quite a complex system with various caveats, and I would recommend the website for the Irish Electoral Commission, as they have a very good guide as to how it works in more detail.
Nationally, Fianna Fáil won the most first preference votes, with Fine Gael coming second and Sinn Féin coming third, with roughly 22%, 21% and 19% respectively. Independent candidates also did very well, winning 13% nationally and 16 seats in total. Fianna Fáil won the most seats, winning 48 out of 178 seats, up 10 from the last election, whilst Sinn Féin won 39 seats, up 2 from last time, and Fine Gael won 38, up 3. The centre-left Labour Party and Social Democratic parties also did well, with both winning 11 seats with a net gain of 5 seats each. The biggest losers in seat share were the Greens, as they dropped from 12 seats in the Dáil to just 1, dropping 4 points in first preference votes. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, the two main partners in the previous coalition government, will be relieved by this result, but also worried as their previous coalition partner, the Greens, are no longer able to help them form a majority in the Dáil. Their main options for a possible coalition are most likely going to be either Labour, the Social Democrats, or getting support from independents, but it remains to be seen if any group will get on board. The exit polls showed that housing, cost of living and health were the main priorities for voters in this election, which is interesting when looking at the result. Normally, this would indicate an unfavourable election for any incumbent government, but this largely hasn't been the case. It is possible that voters were simultaneously dissatisfied with the current government, but were put off by Sinn Féin's policies, leading to a more favourable result for the larger coalition partners. The relatively low turnout of just under 60% was also telling, as low turnout elections generally indicate a lack of satisfaction with politics in general, regardless of party. It was a surprisingly similar turnout to the UK general election, which also failed to reach a turnout of 60%, although both elections had very different results.
It is worth noting that this figure may not be entirely accurate, as the Irish Times reported that up to 500,000 names may be on the register by mistake, which would obviously impact the figures, so it's worth taking this turnout number with a huge grain of salt.
The real winners in terms of vote increases were the minor parties and independents, with all three of the largest parties dropping in first preferences, whilst minor groups such as the Conservative Independent Ireland Party, the Conservative Onto Party, and the Social Democrats seeing the biggest gains. What this will mean for future elections remains to be seen, as the opposition is quite ideologically diverse. Sinn Féin is most likely not going to be a part of the next government, and would definitely struggle to get support from other opposition parties. The smaller parties themselves are quite ideologically diverse, and it is unlikely that they would all coordinate together in future parliaments. Irish politics is going to enter some interesting times, with an uncertain road ahead, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. As always, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.